Hello and welcome back to my channel Lady T. My name is Nathalie and today I take you through a tour of Giethoorn here in the Netherlands. A town that is also nicknamed the Venice of the Netherlands sometimes. There are usually a lot of tourists, but right now there are not. I wonder why that is, for some crazy reason. Not like there's a pandemic going on or something. But we went to the museum first, called the Old Earth, or the Oude Aarde, as we call it in Dutch, which is just a museum with one room. The museum itself is one room. There's a shop attached. I think I've already uploaded another visit to Giethoorn a couple years ago, and I'm not completely sure. But you get to break your own rock. If you behind me, there are rocks that you can choose to break open. Some have guaranteed stuff in them, some don't. I went with the guaranteed stuff in it. They are a little more expensive, but as you can see, the cracking open thing was very difficult for me. So I had the shop employee do it for me because I couldn't do it. But I ended up with some really cute stones. What I really like about the museum itself, even though it's so small, we did look around in it for about half an hour, even 45 minutes, so got to spend a lot of time there. And we were the first two to enter, so that was really fun too. Then you can just take it easy while you look around. And I really like this corner with the fluorescent stones that you can see. And then sometimes the lights just pop up, just like that. And then it was a bit of a shock. For my friend it was the other way around, because she walked in when it was light and then suddenly the whole room turned dark. I really like this room. And there the lights go on. It's just a cute little museum that I visit every time I go to Giethoorn. You can just visit the shop without going here into the museum. You can just go immediately into the shop, but I just feel like I kind of have to walk around the museum. It isn't very expensive to get in, so I always take a little look around here, even though things don't really change over time. I still like it. They used to have crocodiles though in a little part of the museum that I'm going to show you in a bit. It's going to come up in the video. But they moved them to a zoo last year because they were getting too big. So I was very excited to see them, but it's also nice that when I was young I was able to see the crocodiles there, and now they're moved. So that is the one thing that did change since last time I visited. And if you stop at some stones for a longer period of time, then the main reason for some of them is because they are either very sparkly and very pretty to look at, in our opinion, or because it looked like a penis. So yeah, we're grown-up women, I'm 25 years old, and we still think that's funny. And this supposedly moved or something, so that is why what we were trying to see, but it didn't do it for us. But anyway, we gave it a try, and it was so nice to be able to touch some of these things. It's so very pretty, it's so very shiny, and then sometimes you just feel the urge to touch it. Yes, Louis, he agrees. And I'm starting to feel a little more comfortable with making videos in public. You get some really strange looks if you're walking around with a camera. But I am sort of getting used to it. I'm still not used to vlogging or like talking to the camera while I'm outside. So that is still another thing that's happening. But I'm getting used to the idea overall. Maybe because I don't really do it enough. But now we're going to see the little place for the crocodiles. And in the background those were some children because there was a kids party going on out upstairs after about 15 minutes after we entered. They do sound like monkeys sometimes, but so that is just kids. And then we entered the shop with beautiful stones everywhere and some jewelry that they made or all the knickknacks that you could grab. Everything was just so incredibly sparkly and I loved walking around here. I got one of those little statues there, really pretty. This section was very expensive, as you can probably tell, it looks very expensive. And then we went outside, we left the shop and there was this cute little shop over here with some very cool stuff outside, but then inside was the basic tourist kind of stuff that they sold, so we didn't buy anything here. But what I love most about Giethoorn, especially because, like I said, the Venice of the Netherlands, there is just so much water everywhere and you can just walk around over these little bridges. There's usually just one road that you are able to walk on, because on the other side are people's actual homes, so you can't go there. Not every tourist understands that, but we know because we're from the Netherlands. And of course we also had to take a stop to eat something, and this was the road leading up to the restaurant that was kind of on top of the water, or sticking out into the water. It was very cool. You are surrounded by the water when you're eating there, so that's very fun. And here you can already see the little boats everywhere. You can rent them everywhere in Giethoorn. We also ended up doing that, but we first decided, I had rented a water bicycle first. We rented two because we thought we needed two, but apparently we only needed the one, so that is what we ended up doing. And we took some videos of that.
Wel zwaarder als je het buiten doet.
Ja.
Volgens mij hebben ze die niet.
Nee.
Hallo, je had het niet verwacht.
And then we got back and I was just it was very cool. We had rented one for an hour, but the fun thing is between Romy, my friend, and I, that I tend to sometimes forget to enjoy the moment and be like, oh, we have to get this thing back on time or else. And she was just like, we have all the time in the world. The renting shop is very close by, so we're going to make it in time. Just take it easy. So that was a learning experience for me, and we just had a lot of fun with the whole thing. And later on we decided to rent a boat as well. The weather wasn't supposed to be this nice, so we didn't bring any sunscreen, and I can really recommend that if you're going to take a boat out on a lake, that you should bring some head protection and some sunscreen. I ended up pretty badly burned, not that bad. I managed to live, only the second day was kind of horrible, but I mainly burned my head. But everything else was fine. It was a very cool day to be outside and to kind of look around. Romy remembered to bring some water, but I also forgot to do that. And these little ducks were just very interested in our ice cream. The ice cream was so good. Oh, I love ice cream. And now we are on the boat that we rented for 2 hours. They told us how we could go, but we just decided to spend all the time on the lake. It was very close to the renting shop, so we were like, we're not going to take a route through nature. We can do that next year or something. We just wanted to enjoy the lake and the water in itself. It is just so pretty to go get a boat and go through the canals here. It's so pretty with all the flowers at the homes and stuff.
Nou, er ligt een boot heel ver voor je, dus op zich komt dat vast goed.
Niet aan de kant.
Kwak.
Misschien moet je net als autorijden doen, dan mag je ook niet voor dieren uitwijken.
Maar het is ook wel fijn dat de bootjes voor ons liggen, want dan kunnen we die gewoon volgen.
The little annoying thing was that there were some people in front of us, not directly in front of us, because the people that you can see here right in front of us were very nice. But there were 2 boats with teenagers who just really didn't get how they had to handle the boat. They were getting direction or some helpful advice from people from the shore, but they just did not listen. They bumped into everything and they held everyone up. At some point, Romy was taking advantage of the situation and steered right past them. So then they were luckily not in our way anymore. And when we got to the lake, then it was such a huge lake that they couldn't annoy anyone else, hopefully. I don't know what they ended up doing because we didn't see them after that. Yeah, it was just such a calming experience to just be on the boat and kind of enjoy the water and just listen to it. And I absolutely loved sticking my feet out into the nice cold water.
Het is wel echt leuk. Het was een goed idee.
Giethoorn is a place that I like to visit at least every year. I haven't done it for the last couple of years. It has been a while. And this year I was like, oh, I'm going to go alone, because then I can stick to my own schedule. But it was really nice to have someone there with me to share in the fun, actually.
Je doet het echt heel goed. Je doet het echt heel goed.
And I also really love having a smartphone. I got one 2 months ago. Before that I had a flip phone. But taking videos and photos is just so much easier and they are so much better quality than my old photo camera. So I have to get a new one for that. But I love using my smartphone, just throwing it out there. I really love being on the water, and especially with the sounds. Also, when I go swimming, I like to just lay on my back and just float and just hear everything in the water that's going on. I felt so at ease here on the little boat on the nice lake. We had such a great day.
Ekel!
And it was really nice because of the whole pandemic thing, there weren't that many people around. So we had all the time and all the place to just kind of do our own thing, and there weren't too many people around so that we were able to enjoy ourselves. Because sometimes this lake especially can be really crowded with everyone renting boats and stuff like that. So we were very lucky, and also that the weather ended up being not a lot nicer than they had actually told us on the weather report.